made it possible. You made it possible. Your idea. So let me get hold up about 2 minutes, and then what I'm going to do, I've got. Okay, all right. Okay. Your first thing is so okay.
Just give us 10 or 15 to work with.
I just had what I needed. Okay, thank you, Doc. I got you. I'm going to have to go get what I need to do. Hello, Detroit. Give yourself a hand, Detroit. Give yourself a hand. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? We are so excited to be here. For those of you who don't know, my name is Luther Keith. I'm the executive director of Arise Detroit, a coalition of more than 400 community organizations, churches, block clubs, and community groups, promoting volunteerism, community activism, and positive media images to create a better Detroit. All right, this is a very special day for a lot of reasons, but I'll talk more later. But right now, we'll always like to start an event in a spiritual way, and that's why we're going to ask board member Pastor Annie Adams to deliver a blessing for us. Pastor Adams.
God bless you, Luther. Praise the Lord, everyone. Praise the Lord, everyone. Spirit of the living God, we're calling on you now to lift up the city of Detroit. We ask that each of us right now will just take a moment to bow our heads, give reverence to the Almighty God. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on the city of Detroit. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on our leadership. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on our neighborhoods. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on our leaders. Spirit of the living God, bless us with a love that runs from heart to heart. Bless us with a love that runs from breast to breast. Lead us, guide us, direct us, re-image, refocus, transform, anoint the city of Detroit. Arise, Detroit. Come up from the ashes in the mighty name of Jesus. It is so. I know it is so. And all the people of God together said, amen and amen. And it is so.
Thank you, Pastor Adams. You can see why we like her to do that. We want to call now our chairman, my boss, who always tells me, Luther, that's another one of your crazy ideas. But he lets me get away with a lot of stuff. But he really is our steadying force and influence. He used to run the Youth Development Commission. When I had this idea for Arise Detroit, he was one of the first people I talked to and convinced me I wasn't crazy for trying this. And so give a hand, please, to Randy McNeil, the chairman of Arise Detroit.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excuse my voice. I'm a little out of sorts this morning. But welcome. I'd Luther's crazy. We need more crazy people like Luther in Detroit. Arise Detroit, and they would say it's all about the positive nature of Detroit. And that's what we are. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for all the support. Myers, Mr. Mayor, all the citizens. Let's keep pushing.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you. You know, we're a little under the weather, still come out. I'm going to change the program a little bit because, again, those of you know what it takes to get on that statue. In the past, this has meant a Red Wings championship or a Tigers championship or a Pistons championship. We're still working on this other one. Maybe this is the year. Or DPS, I know the Freedom March, they had it. But this is the first time we've ever done it. An organization like Arise Detroit has done it, and it's made possible because of a new corporate citizen in the city of Detroit that's come to Detroit with jobs, with tax revenues, and most importantly, a friendly giving spirit to work with the people in the neighborhoods of Detroit. So I'm going to jump the program a little bit because I want you to hear from them because they, the Meyer Corporation, Meyer Company, made this possible. When you look at that shirt, and it's going to stay up through August the 5th, so come down, tell your friends, get your pictures with it. But I really want you to recognize these gentlemen from Myers because they are great corporate. They have a great store, and we need more great stores in Detroit. So we want to applaud them. And first, we're going to start with Mr. Andrew Julian, West Detroit Marketing Director for Meyer Company. Andy.
Before I proceed with my comments, first and foremost, if it wasn't for the gentleman with me, Adrian Lewis, our new store at 8 Mile and Woodward would not be possible. This is a dynamic individual who is so involved in the community, his work ethic and behaviors are to be modeled after. Adrian, please come up and give a couple words, please.
Thank you, Andy. Good morning, Detroit. Good morning. Well, I appreciate having a few words here because this is near and dear to me. When you talk about community, when you talk about Meyer, you know, being part of such a great company, and for them to trust that I'm going to be aligned not only with their core values, but also with the vision of the city of Detroit, I think that's remarkable. What I can assure you at Meyer on 8 Mile and Woodward is that you will have a professionally run store, a very clean store with friendly individuals, friendly team members in which I personally interviewed and selected to be on my team. So I'm very proud of that. I'm proud to be a part of the city of Detroit. I feel the spirit. I've never understood the magnitude of being just in front of this statue here. And to be able to be a part of this event, I really and truly appreciate it. And God bless everyone.
Thank you, Adrian. And as he mentioned, a core value is family with our Meyer team. And let me tell you, you guys here, Adrian and his team, along with the mayor, what a beautiful family. So with my comments, so proud of that Meyer on the side of that shirt. We're glad to be here to help contribute to Detroit's comeback by providing jobs and services to the city residents. Meyer's also glad to partner with Arise Detroit. Let's hear it. And underwrite the cost of the jersey as an expression of our support for the people in the neighborhoods of Detroit. Think of Meyer as a new neighbor and a good neighbor, someone that you're going to look forward to seeing again and again and again. Thank you, Detroit.
And so someone said to me, Luther, what's the big deal about putting a jersey on a statue? She obviously doesn't know this statue. She obviously doesn't know Detroit. And she obviously doesn't know the people of Detroit. This represents, and the reason we wanted to do this, and we want to again thank Meyer again for being so generous to make this happen for us, because symbolism means a lot. That's why we get so upset when most of the coverage seems to be negative. We know we have bankruptcy, but we want to remind everybody that this jersey It says Arise Detroit. It's not an accident. Arise Detroit. We picked the name because there's power in the name. Arise. You almost can't say it without getting on your tiptoes. Arise. And we want everyone to know for this statue is going to be on through August the 5th. When they come down, get your pictures taken. We want all of the folks who've been writing the bankruptcy stories, and we know we're in a hard spot, but that's not all Detroit is about. So we want CNN. We want they must have, oh, there we go. We want MSNBC and Fox, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Huffington Post. We want all of them to take another look at this side of Detroit. Saturday, August the 3rd, come in and take a look at this Detroit. Take a look at the thousands of people. Take a look at the Pingree Street Block Club, the 1800 Greeley Street Block Club. Take a look at Life Remodeled and Handyman Ministries and Ravendale Community Center and so many others all around this city. On August the 3rd, the 7th annual Rise Detroit Neighborhoods Day, we're going to have close to 200 events in neighborhoods all over the city. People will be cleaning up neighborhoods. They'll be planting gardens. There'll be health fairs. There'll be concerts. There'll be parades. There'll be art exhibits. There will be chess tournaments, youth activities, sports, golf, baseball, softball. All over the city, neighborhoods all over the city. People smiling, working together, loving each other. So as you write about a bankruptcy, remember this. Even with bankruptcy, we're still going to rise. Even when you write about a crime, we're still going to rise. Even though you think we ain't qualified, we're still going to rise. Come out here and see this side of Detroit, and let's tell the world about this Detroit, August 3rd, the 7th annual Arise Detroit Neighborhoods Day. Are you listening? I'm sorry I got so wound up. I'll try to control myself. With that being said, other part of this day, we really wanted to recognize our mayor, Mayor Dave Bing. We want to recognize our mayor, Mayor Dave Bing. See, when you're a community organization and you just start, you have to prove yourself to a lot of people. They don't think you're big enough or you're funded the right person or you don't have the right connect. Now, if you get that, they'll support you. They'll be for you. But some people will support you just because they believe in you and your work. And that's what the Mayor Dave Bing has done with the Rise Detroit. He has always supported us. We've supported him. Whenever we've called on him or his staff or his people for assistance, he's delivered or tried to deliver. And so I know he's on his way out. He's going to do golf and travel the world or do something like that. But we want him to know that from Arise Detroit in the Arise Detroit community, you have a special place in our heart. No matter what happens, we know how hard you've worked with the community people. We know what you've taken. We know you've gone through some health issues, which seem to get overlooked when people start talking about things. And it's no accident that you chose to support our work because you didn't have to do it. A lot of people want that. So part of the success of Arise Detroit has been because of Mayor Dave Bing and his people. So give him a hand for that, will you please? And I've got a couple of tokens of appreciation that we want the mayor to have, so bear with me. A few years ago, Arise Detroit started something we call the Community Servant Award. It's not based on your title, it's based on you working on behalf of the community. And so we think it's appropriate on this day, at this time, to recognize Dave Bing with an Arise Detroit Community Servant Award. It reads the Honorable Dave Bing, Mayor of City of Detroit, 2009-2013, for your efforts to promote community involvement and citizen participation in transforming Detroit and your support of Arise Detroit Neighborhoods Day, August 3rd, 2013. But wait, there's more. I had the pleasure to participate in a golf tournament, a fundraiser. I carved up holes out there, other people golf. But the mayor is a golfer, and he is a good golfer. And so we want to present him with a very special shirt, golf shirt, or whatever you want to do from Arise Detroit, with our symbol, nice color, and it says simply, Dave, and wear it proudly, wherever you may be. So, Mr. Mayor, with that, we appreciate if you share a few remarks.
Let me say this. I'm very pleased to be here this morning. And, you know, a lot of the credit for what's going on, for the improvement in some of our neighborhood communities, are organizations like Arise. If it were not for the leadership and the vision of Luther Keith, a lot of our neighborhoods would be much worse off than where we are. One of the things that we always must keep in mind is that we are responsible for each other. It's very easy, as he said, for those people in the media in particular to talk about all the negative things that are going on in our city. The positive things very seldom get mentioned. But organizations like this ought to be mentioned always, because you are the breath and the life of our city. It's the people who live in the neighborhoods, the people who refuse to leave, the people who want to give back. And as Luther said, we know that our city is in a tough situation right now. But the mere fact that he named this organization Arise is really what our city is all about. We may be down, but we are going to come back. I believe that. I truly believe that. This administration has weathered the storm. And even though we have a financial manager at this point in time, and even though we filed for bankruptcy, there are some good things that are still in play. On yesterday, I was in a community up on the north end side of Detroit, where there are going to be over a 1 month period about 5,000 volunteers that are going to take over a 48 block area and clean it up. I was there yesterday to see firsthand what's going on. Volunteers are from all across the state. 5,000 people are coming to say Detroit is going to come back, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. One of the things that you will see from this administration on a going forward basis is, even though a lot of concentration has been downtown improvement, midtown improvement, a lot of people have forgotten how important our neighborhoods are. People where you live, where your children are. And so we've got to make sure that the funding that we get, and money is still going to be coming in from the federal government, all of that money is going to be concentrated in our neighborhoods. I will be going down to Washington soon. I'll be talking to HUD. HUD is going to be here tomorrow, as a matter of fact. The Transportation Secretary, I'm hoping with the change in Washington, will be coming here, because once again, our city needs all the help that we can get. We should not forget, nor should we be totally dependent upon the federal government for our existence. We got to put some pressure on the state of Michigan. We got to tell Lansing that we are the largest city in Michigan, and we need help from Lansing. Tomorrow I will be, and I'll have a chance to meet with the governor, and I will let him know exactly what our needs are, what your needs are, and we're going to get this done. I have 5 months left in this term. As much as I would like to play golf, as much as I would like to travel, this ain't the time to do it. So even though I may not be up on the 11th floor, visiting the 13th floor, I will make sure that I'm not going to leave you behind. My heart is here, my heart is with you, and I'm going to make sure that I stay here and give you all the support that I can. I have great relationships in D.C., and even though I won't be in this office, those relationships will not go away. So I want to thank all of you for all that you do. I see a lot of faces out here that I've known for a long time. You fought, you stayed. I'm going to stay with you and fight. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Give it up for Mr. Mayor again. And the project he's talking about in the North End, it's in Philadelphia at Woodward, is actually one of the projects for Rise Detroit Neighborhoods. They actually started Monday, and they're partnering with Handyman Ministries, Life Remodeled, and will conclude Neighborhoods Day. And I wanted to also give a special recognition to Diane Reeder, who's been working with the Meyer Company, and she's partly responsible for this jersey being on this statue, so give her a hand for that. Also, at this time, would like any of our sponsors here, I know some of them, we could not be possible. Quicken Loans is our title sponsor. Of course, Meyer, PNC Bank, Comerica Bank, Blue Cross Blue Shield, DMC, of course, the Kresge Foundation and others. And also, and the Skillman Foundation, we're going to recognize, we're going to have this gentleman, Marlo Stoudemire, come here and make a couple of comments. We want to, the Skillman Foundation, in fact, started Arise Detroit. They funded us to get us started. And Carol Goss, the president of the Skillman Foundation, could not be with us today, but we honored her with a lunch and gave her award as the honorary chair of Neighborhoods Day, the 7th annual Neighborhoods Day. So we're going to ask Mr. Marlo Stoudemire of the Skillman Foundation, Chief of Staff, to come and make a few remarks on behalf of Carol Goss. Give him a hand, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keith. First and foremost, I want to say that I grew up in Detroit, and I still live in Detroit. 48205 zip code. People say Detroit is coming back. I say the neighborhoods never went anywhere. Champions like Luther and everyday people like us, we've been here. We don't tear the city down. We help build it up. Finally, we're being activated in a new way. So, as he said, I'm Marlo Stoudemire from the Skillman Foundation, and I just want to thank you for letting me come up here and speak on behalf of Carol Goss, our president of Skillman Foundation. So Carol was disappointed that she couldn't be here today because this is an event and an organization that's really dear to her heart. What started out as an event featured a handful of projects that has blossomed into more than 200 locations across the city of Detroit is here to stay. This isn't going anywhere. We'll be back, right? Those events involve hundreds of organizations, thousands of people, and generated many positive headlines for local community groups and the city as a whole. As president and CEO of the foundation, Carol was crucial and a critical part in getting the event off the ground in 2007. And while I know that if she was here, she'd be thrilled and excited to see what it has become today, I don't think she'd be surprised because she knew that this was going to be the real deal. And because she and I, as native Detroiters, are people working daily on behalf of children, we know that the residents of Detroit are hungry to give back, hungry to shape their communities, and hungry to see the city transformed into a thriving, vibrant community that works first and foremost for our children, and we can all participate. And lastly, the thing that I'll say more than anything is that what this event is all about is about people giving back with an open heart. It's important that we remember that the heart of Detroit, no matter what the finances say, what the media say, what crime rates say, our heart is still beating. It never went away. And Carol is all about that. And as a representative from the Skillman Foundation, I just want to thank you all for having the heart to stand up, speak out, and do what we need to do and push these neighborhoods. Thank you. Have a good Neighborhoods Day.
Thank you, Marlo. I want to recognize our board members, Louise Guyton, and you heard from Pastor Annie Adams. Any of our board members here, Randy McNeil was here. And anybody here who is part of Neighborhoods Day with an event, give yourself a big hand clap. Neighborhoods Day people, clap your hands because you were made this day possible. As indicated earlier, we have a couple of awards, community servant awards, that we give out for people who we feel have given tremendous service to the community over the course of years. These are not Johnny-come-latelys. These are people who have been around and been doing the work, and we want to recognize them. The first gentleman I want to recognize is Mr. Marvis Cofield, the founder and CEO of the Akibalan Village on Harper on the east side of Detroit, doing youth development programs, celebrating 35 years of providing programming for our youth. Marvis, please come forward. And it reads, Community Service Award presented to Marvis Cofield in Alkebulan Village. celebrating 35 years of providing hope and changing lives on the east side of Detroit, 7th Annual Arise Detroit Neighborhood Day, August 3rd, 2013.
Thank you very much. Once again, on behalf of Keeblon Village, I want to acknowledge our COO, Chief Operating Officer, Bishop Cheryl Mahan. Would you please come up here, please? Because you know we do not do this by ourselves, so I just want to acknowledge her, because for every good man, for every good leader, you got to have a team. And so on behalf of us, we want to thank Arise, Brother Luther Keys. You know, a lot of people do a lot of talking. This brother does a lot of walking in the community. He's been here. Matter of fact, I have to say that all the people I've met over the last 35 years, he's been consistent. Even when he was a writer for the news, he wrote about neighborhood community engagement. So once again, on behalf of Keep Alive, we salute you. Let us to continue to rise out of the ashes. Thank you again. And we'll see everybody Saturday doing some good in their own neighborhood. Thank you again.
Okay, sure, my pleasure. Marvin Schofield giving up again, another really committed person. One of the other things we have going on Neighborhood Today, and again, I remind you, there are a lot of cleanups of various kinds going on, but Neighborhood Today is not just a cleanup day. We have all kinds of programs, youth programs, and one of the great ones that we're going to have is done by the Hollywood Golf Institute, run by a woman named Selena Johnson. Hollywood is her name. I don't think her mother named her Hollywood, but somehow she picked it up. And she, for years and years, has taught youth golf, helped young people out of Detroit get scholarships, golf scholarships, and has been at this for a long time. And she's part of Neighborhood Today, and we thought it was appropriate to honor Selena Hollywood Johnson for her work with the Hollywood Golf Institute. Selena Johnson, give her a hand, young. And it reads, Community Servant Award presented to Selena Johnson and the Hollywood Golf Institute for your dedication, commitment, and support to provide education and opportunity to Detroit youth through the sport of golf. 7th Annual Rise Detroit Neighborhood Today, August 3rd, 2013.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here, and thank you, Luther. We're excited after 33 years of working with young people, sending them off to 32 colleges around the country, and enlightening 5,000 children to play this game of golf. We will be at Palmer Park on Saturday from 10 to 1. We have young people here from New York. They'll be over in a little while after probably the ceremony, but they're taking pictures here. We're excited about it, and we're excited that we've put over 100 young people in college under the heading of golf. So thank you so much. Thank you, Luther. Thank you, everybody. Look forward to seeing you soon. Okay. Okay, you want to, were they taken? And this is my granddaughter from Maryland.
And by the way, for her, she's got a partner organization in Harlem, New York. They're going to be coming in to Detroit to golf, specifically for Neighborhood Today. I want to recognize my partner, the operations officer for Rise Detroit, who I could not make it without him. Give a hand for Mr. Marcus Harris, please, over here. And now we have the closing, the exclamation point. I was thinking about what could I do special this year. And for those of you who don't know, Jessica Care Moore is one of the most talented people to ever have read a poem in America. She is extremely gifted. I've known her for a while. And if you go on YouTube, you'll see some amazing things. And it occurred to me on this day, with this jersey on this statue provided by Meyer, we need also a word of inspiration to all the people. So we commissioned her, that's a big word. We commissioned her to write a new poem, tribute to Detroit. So give it up for Jessica Care Moore. Jessica.
I'm a little shorter than most. I didn't put on my good shoes today. Good morning. Is it morning still? All right. I'm really honored to be here. I'm excited. Thank you, Luther. I appreciate your support and for your trust in me with this. I flew in from St. Louis today. I'm teaching in the jails and in the women's prisons every summer in St. Louis, and flew in here, and I got to go right back to St. Louis to my babies. So this is a piece for Detroit, and I'm from the West Side, and I love every part of Detroit. So y'all just take it in. If you have never slid down the giant slide on a potato sack, then you may not know my Detroit. If you've never eaten a coney at 3 a.m., you may not understand why. It doesn't matter how many games we win or lose, we wear our D hats and tats year round. Our streets were built to the rhythm of a hand clap sound. I am a Detroit Lion on Linwood, a rebellious Tiger on Tireman, a Stanley Cup carrying Red Wing on Rutherford, a Detroit Piston constantly putting up new nets round forgotten white backboards and orange squares. Rebellion cities have never had it too easy. Innovative freeways aren't always paved in gold, but that thin strip of M8 we call the Davison is a conduit to every future highway in our nation, and so is the assembly line steel and wheel of our cars. Detroiters have always kept this country moving. Revolutionary people don't always get good press, but it is in our DNA, in our bloodline gift to survive. When the surface of your skin has potholes that blast temptation records through your pores, when the tips of your fingers are blessed by international waters, and you are now under the world's media microscope, constantly checking your arms for track marks and close-ups of how you look once the high is gone. You are simply one city built above crystals. You are the river of freedom. You are the tenacity of Malcolm, the truth of Sojourner. We are the fish fry at Granny's, the swim mobile, the Brightmoor soccer team, Dynamo's Deli on Plymouth, the Bog Center, the car school for gifted children, the old school suite of Dutch girl donuts, and the sweet potato sensation cakes across the street from the mural cover beauty we call Artist Village. We exist in the brilliance of our young debaters, our champion athletes, our self-empowered rockers, our young farmers and dancers and scientists and future social activists. We are 5E Gallery and Arise Detroit and Black Women Rock. We are Namdi Gallery and the Charles H. Wright and Goodwills, and the opposite of white flight. Our babies are ice dreamers, young souls on ice hockey players up early at Butzel on Wyoming and Linden. We are cultivated young visual artists at Culture Roots Art Camp inside Mama McKinney's home every summer on Prentice and Cass. We are Coach Shahid's basketball camp at Renaissance High School. We are all necessary coaches who act as fathers and moms who create safe sanctuaries and rite of passage programs for our daughters. Raised by 1968 men, hollowing out our hearts to hide their future children from Reagan's 80s invasion. Men who knew music was power and dancing slow was an act of love. Men on the line of assembly, Coleman A. young men who fought to desegregate fire in police departments, and curses were like poetry when they decided to fire back. Politics were the people's conscience, and Marvin Gaye was our battle crier. We know work. It is our witchcraft, our deep south anxiety attack, our dreams of something greater for the ones that come later. The men who look like daddies even when they weren't. Dive had gangsters against a snakeskin shoe. Sunday best men, Saturday all night men, straight back men with pride, organizing frontline union workers, men who made women touch their hats and adjust their slips as they passed. Construction workers with steel-toe boots carrying brown bag lunches. Beautiful Detroit sisters, we are not urban fiction. When the pulse of our city stops beating, then the soul of American music and man-made industry dies. A metropolis with a broken heart, a split in half baseball field for months, a train stained with broken stained glass eyes that can still reflect that we are a city with pride. Our neighborhoods fighting for their namesake. We may have abandoned homes, but we are not an abandoned people. I hear outsiders talking about a new Detroit, but I remember the beauty of old Detroit. The block parties, the Cass Co-op, late night car races, the hip hop shop in the 7 Mile Strip. Tigers baseball around a bonfire on any corner played loud enough for the entire block to listen. I was raised inside this sound. I walked down Joy Road to get to school. I found lifelong friends on Ward Street in Stahalem, Pinehurst and Mendota and Manor and Littlefield, Tyman and Plymouth and West Chicago and Rosedale Park and Mack and Bewick and Gratiot and Harper and Connor, Cashew and Mansfield and French Road and Heidelberg and Jefferson and Van Dyke and St. Alban, Bagley and Porter and Church and Holbrook and Evergreen and Verner, Marston, North End, Livernois, Chandler Park, Rouge Park, Palmer Park. I was raised on the Hamilton bus stop stories, the Purple Gang, Glory, Hudson's and Kresge's 5 and 10, when Bell Hour was open and live way past 10. We, the spirit, rising inside Alice Coltrane's Holy Ghost heart. sharp. We the ooh baby baby that makes Smokey smile melt tears. We the Wonder Bread smell of Stevie's harmonica, an international legend-making city. We are used to stones being thrown against our glassy lakes. Detroiters don't do fake. We do work. We make art. Out of our neighborhoods, we made Anita Bakers and Mike Banks and Atkins and Mays. We made the Queen of Soul and John Doe. We made Proof and Slum Village and White M&Ms. We make Jackie Wilsons and Ruffins and Supremes and Winans. We make characters like Dreadlock Mike and Willie Jenkins told me we made Jump Rope from Wire. We used to make everything. We were 2 of the Fab Five and claimed the whole team. We the Bad Boys and the Earl Flynn. Don't talk about a city's feet if these are shoes you can't fit in. We don't sleep in late. We don't wait for someone else to do it. We surrounded by masters. We the graves they love to walk over. We the people the senses don't always count correctly. I got a lot. Hold on. I wrote a lot. I love my city. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. We are the sum of our grandmother's prayers and our native ancestors' wishes. My brothers had to take out the garbage I busted suds in the kitchen. We southern rooted, country, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. We grassroots soldiers. We Damon's Records and spectacles on Grand River. We the after hours, concrete and flowers. We know peace and Joe Louis black power. We the blue collar inside the rainbow of humanity. We the assembly line of work ethic and union muscle. Jay's chips and Fago red hustle. We a city of mosques and synagogues and temples and Baptist church preachers. We fly hijab rap sisters on Friday and some of the finest church-suited brothers you'll ever see on any given Sunday. We are Eastern Market on Saturday. Muhammad Mosque #1, Fellowship Chapel, Greater Grace, Hartford Memorial, and we triumph. We Bakers, Keyboard Lounge, and the legacy of Burt's. Some of us young enough to know that there is a young genius being brewed in this city, and the keys of John Dixon, the trumpet of Chris Johnson, and the writing of Dream Hampton, inside the sax of Ladero and Deshawn, the voices of Stephanie Christian and Monica Blair. We Dwele and Miss Corona, Black Milk, Wajid, and Invincible. We DJ Dez and Hot Wax and Sakari and One Below. We are college center of the movement. Detroit has spirits, not just the statue in front of the Coleman A. Young building. We got real-time spirits and ancestor spirits. All of them protect this city, stand as guardian. Our historians have names. Buy coffee at Avalon, still eat Coney dogs at Lafayette. Drink Detroit Red, go to Sweetwater for the wings. Eat the dark, enjoy the dark lights of Union Street, value the Cass Cafe. Detroit is easily translated into French and South African apartheid and the Berlin Wall crumbling down and Jewish and African Holocaust and black men in Italian suits and shades painting live at the Torino Music Festival and Underground Railroad stops. Stop and find a major city in this country. Find a musician on this planet that doesn't respect our history. Martin Luther King didn't preach his dream here first for no reason. Woodward Avenue is the spine of movements. Michigan Avenue baseball pitch and left arms. Grand Boulevard right leg walking the steel and grind of techno still breathing just past the east of 8. I'm trying. Okay. Still breathing east of downtown. We wipe away the tears of clowns. America would not be America if not for the Motown sound. The integrity and heart of our people are not bankrupt. We are rich with history, raised on tradition, our daddy's lessons and our mama's intuition. We have coaches and teachers and parents and activists and leaders on the front line of this riverfront. We ride bikes down the DeQuinta Cut. Maybe you've heard of us. We the people inside the Michigan hand. We indigenous Detroiters and we love our land. We make artists with international fans. I'm from a Detroit hood, so I'm a part of the plan. Somebody got to show the young ones how to get up 75. We not ghost riding. We live and work in the city, and we are alive. Thank you.
Wow. Give this girl a hand. Give this CNN. We want you to show this. Don't we want them to show this? Now, some people, when I told them we had Jessica here more, they said, who? Now you know who. Now you know. Now, Jessica, do you have a name for this poem? Because you didn't say one.
It was just a homage to Detroit.
Homage to Detroit. Can we get a copy of it? And I know somebody videotaped it, so we're going to have it on YouTube. And I want to thank you because I said, Jessica, just get them excited. And did she do that? Did she do that? And as someone who's a writer but not a poet, that was more than a poem. That was a stirring manifesto, she calls it, Manifesto Detroit. That's not a bad. One more time for Jessica Caremore. Jessica, thank you so much. That was truly brilliant. 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 So I want to recognize the Buffalo Soldiers who are here. Larry Hall, they're part of Neighborhoods Day. And again, I want to thank all of you. This will be up for till August the 5th. Come down, take pictures, tell your friends. We're probably going to make some postcards, T-shirts out of it. But every time somebody goes past here and sees this, they'll know that this is what Detroit really is about, Arise Detroit. So on August the 3rd, we're asking all of our media friends, give it coverage, put it on the front page, not the back page. Put it at the top of the newscast, not at the bottom of the newscast. Show Detroit people some love, because these are the people who are loving Detroit back and all the work on Neighborhoods Day. So I want to thank you all very much. We have a few Rise Detroit T-shirts. You may have one to fit you. We might be able to give you one. So thank you all. Go out, make it a great. We want to thank Meyer and Andy Julian and Adrian Lewis. We're going to see a lot of you guys. Thank you for making this possible. This means so much to so many people. And not just that, but Meyer has supported us with the water and other things for all the neighborhood groups that are part of Neighborhoods Day. And we want everyone to know we appreciate that and look forward to a long, passionate love affair. How's that? Give yourselves a hand. We'll see you on August 3rd. Thank you. Yeah, I got one. That's the first thing I
yeah. I think I may go up to the office. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we don't see you, but we got your size here.
My name's Nick Shalino. I'm with WDET. Would you
Okay.
mind answering? Please say your name and time.
Right. I put out the email yesterday. They thought that we got a president. Cap showed up and Mr. Kid thing off. That was 3 out of 7. They don't appreciate the stuff I go through, but yeah, they want to show up there and they have a part. I'll ride your fire me back. Get it out there. I hope you got some good